That there. Oh boy, where do I go here? Here we go. Hello, hello. Now I'm live. All right, I'm trying a few things today. I'm playing around. I don't have a plan per se. I don't know if I just made that worse or better, but we'll see. Um, so I've had an idea in my head for a while now. Of a rainbow tree of life. That's what I've wanted to play with. I got the idea from my son. I need to stop you. Yeah, there we go. Trying to save as much computing power as possible. So, yeah, I've had this idea. One time I was trying to stream when my kid was home, and needless to say, that did not go well. That didn't go well at all. But what I had done was just started painting things that he wanted because he was sitting right next to me. And then he stuck his face in the camera, and the stream very abruptly ended because, yeah, I don't want that. But one of the things that he wanted was a rainbow tree. And I've been thinking that that might be a good, like, wall piece. And so I've played with it here and there, and I've done like just a couple of like doodles. I think I have one here. Yeah. This is one of the ones that I was just doodling, trying to figure out how I wanted it to look and what colors to use and how to get them to blend, and just playing around. But I've had this idea in my head for a really long time, or since that stream, and I can't get rid of it. So I'm going to play today. That's all I'm going to do. Is I'm going to work on seeing if I can get this tree out of my head and onto paper. And I have... Okay. So I was thinking, in one of my classes I've done, we were working on trees and the types of trees. I'm trying to find... Yeah. So this was just an example, and like how you can paint the different types of trees and whatever. And I, in my head, have like kind of like a version like up here, but longer, because the tree life is like, I did some Google searches, and it's quite like wide, goes wider at the top. So it's like an umbrella at the top, and then the roots are an umbrella at the bottom, right? And I was looking at some images, and I have some up here from Google. And yeah, I'm just gonna play, and I'm gonna work on smaller paper until I get close to what it is I want, and then I'll get a larger piece, because I really want this to be like a big, beautiful thing. And yeah, so that's what we're doing today. I'm just gonna try and get this out of my head, and I have no idea how it will go, or if it will go at all. But I'm just going to play and we'll see what happens, right? That's the plan. So let me, I think I have everything up and running and on, and I think everything is fine. All right, so let's go. First thing I want to do, and let me just grab a piece of scrap. This is just some frame playing, and I don't like it. So, but the first thing I want to do is decide on colors, because I have a lot of different colors, and I want colors that will play well together. And I just hit something on my keyboard, and I hope I didn't destroy anything. So, yeah, I'm going to start with reds, and I have a couple of different reds, and it may even have to be like a mix. And I'll go with a few yellows. I'm just putting some water in my palette, and the colors that I think, or the colors that I think are possible. I think I'll try sap green and green gold. I also moved my mic today, and I removed the filter. So if you hear any like weird sounds, or if it's not clear, or if you hear my like S's too much or whatever, let me know, because I never go back and watch my streams, so I never know how they sound, because I don't like watching or hearing myself. So I think I'm gonna activate buff titanium just in case. And I'll probably need some brown for the trunk, and maybe we'll actually pull in some phthalo green. I don't know. I'm just gonna play and see what happens. And this is just like a kind of a throwaway brush. So these are, oops, I do need to get to my water though. Oh, and I also didn't set up a paper towel. Hold on. I'm not nearly as ready today as I thought. Okay. I was working this morning. A friend of mine had asked me to work on a wedding topper for her sister's wedding. And I had started it, and it was supposed to be kind of simple, but then it was actually not simple at all, which is really like always the case, right? So I got about halfway through, and I have to individually, it's just a wreath with these leaves on it. I could paint it quicker than I could do it in this digital medium that I'm working in. But yeah, so it's just a wreath with leaves, very simple leaves, and then the names in the center. But I don't do a lot of that, so it's very slow for me. And then I had to do it, like I said, all individually, so that's what I was working on this morning. And then I was like, oh, I haven't planned for stream at all. And now you're here. So, oh, you know what? I didn't take an orange. I did take some, I wet some new gamboge. That's a pretty good orange, but I think I'll pull out another color my Aussie red gold. And really what I'm just trying to do is see like which ones will go well together. I want to keep that bright yellow, so I'm not going to pull any of those, but the greens are going to be a little bit harder to decide on. And you could, I would definitely take some input also. So feel free to put in your 2 cents, so to speak. All right. That's kind of more of a tree color there, like a, what is that? Sap green. A little bit of editing, that could be a really nice evergreen color. And then too much hunter's green. See why this is difficult? This is why I have to play a little bit. And then for blues, we have a little bit of a choice as well. Phthalo blue, which takes over literally everything it touches. Could go nice and bright and cool with this aquamarine blue. And what is this? Oh, this is the new favorite, the Prussian blue, which is more like night skies. And a couple purples. So I've got imperial purple, and quinadrochrome purple. Okay. So from here, I think I can already tell that I probably don't want like the darker of the blue and the green, right? Hosting, thank you. Hey, I need your input. I'm picking colors here. Think rainbow. So I don't think I want the darker of these two. I think I definitely want to stay with a lighter red, which is, I think that's a cool red. I definitely want to stay with that. And these two are kind of interchangeable. This one has a better chance of not being washed out than this one. Probably, but it's warm. It's this warm, cool thing that just drives me crazy. I don't really have a good grasp on it. And then for green, I really like this color, but it's more dull than I think I want. Then go with the one who doesn't wash out. Yeah, I think I could actually use both of them pretty well. So yeah. This is kind of more tree color, but it's not as like bright and happy as that one, and so I'm kind of leaning towards that. And that one, what is that? Hooker's green? Yeah. Little note for myself. And then the purples, this is more like burgundy purple, so definitely want, even though it's darker, I think I definitely want more purpley. Like the first green. That one, yeah? You think that would be good in a rainbow? Yeah, probably would go good in a rainbow, huh? Well, we're gonna try that. We'll try that too. We'll try both of these and see which one works better. I like all the greens. Yeah. I have like an entire row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different greens. So now I've got that, and I'll just get another scrap paper, another frame, leafy frame thing that I didn't like. So what I'm going to do is just start with the colors that I liked, and I'm just going to try and make some, just blend them a bit and see how that works. So this is the darker of the orange, but I could actually go back in after and kind of just blend those together. That red kind of overtook everything though. So it really doesn't make sense, I think, to use the darker one. You didn't like that. That looks stunning. What, this? This thing? No, I didn't like that. Sorry. I'll make another one for you if you want it. And then yellow. And with yellow, you have to really make sure you have a lot down, because the color will move and then you'll have no yellow at all. Let's try first the spring green one. Now I'm going to come back in and just try and blend these a little bit. Add a little bit more yellow in. See how that goes. And it doesn't have to be like a perfect blend also. Oh, we never decided on blue, did we? I'm going to try the ultramarine because I'm just not sure I'm up to fighting with phthalo today. I'm going to grab some more green, and I'm going to come back over and try and blend that a bit. Yeah, this is what I'm going to have to be careful of, because this is just completely overtaking the color. And this is like a water management issue as well, because I'm really just putting stuff down and not really paying too much attention, but not really caring, really. Trying the purple. All right, so that's with that lighter green. And now I'm just going to do the same thing with the... Maybe I could be a little bit more careful too with my water management, but probably won't. Long, bright yellow. So when the paint moves, it has a chance of staying a little bit yellow. Now I'm going to try that Hunter's Green. Let's see. That could work as well. And I think I'll stay with the French ultramarine blue, cooler, brighter blue. Those don't actually make too much of a mess together either, so that may work. Those also blend a little bit better. What if I did two greens? I mean, I'm really just trying to simplify it for myself, but there's no one saying I can't, right? I really don't like the way those kind of blend though, so I could work at it. And it's not like it's going to be like this in the tree too, because it'll have, in my head, there's a lot of like, you know, spaces. But I could use these two greens to kind of blend down. And just for giggles, I'm going to very lightly add in some phthalo blue. And I really actually think I do like a brighter blue. All right. So I guess we have colors now, right? So we're going to go with dog hair. Pearl Scarlet is the red. I think I'm going to stay with the lighter one, which would be like New Gamboge. I can't write. And of course, it's a yellow light. And then spring green into Hooker's green into French ultramarine. FU. And then into imperial purple. All right. That's what we're doing. So I'm just going to put this so I can see it, which is really nowhere. If I ever did like an actual shot of my desk, I think you'd be horrified. So now I'm jumping the gun. Let me get some paints ready and some brushes. So I'm going to stick with trusty 8, go down to 4. I think I'll stay that way. Yeah. Start with those, and if I need to, I'll move along. But first, I want to get some paint ready. And since I already have like a lot of the colors on here, what I'm gonna wet this here and then take it off, because I really want that bright green, and most of the time I can just mix colors together and then you're not even really gonna see it. But because the tones are so different, I'm gonna clean this off. My stomach just told me that I, again, Forgot to eat lunch today. Hooray! And I did forget to eat lunch. I was working on that thing. All right, the rest of the colors are fine, and they'll just kind of blend well. So I'm going to wet this here. And then I'm going to add enough water and paint so that you don't even notice that that's there. It'll just blend really nicely. And I'm going to mix up a decent amount and pretty concentrated because I can always add water to it on the page. Not that concentrated, but like that. And then do the same thing with the yellow, and I'm only the dog hair. I can't wait for spring to be gone, for it to be summer. I don't also want my paint, this has like a little bit of an angle, so I'm just going to take some cotton things, these things, whatever they are, take off like makeup, and I use them for nail polish. And I'm just going to pop a couple under there so that it stays more flat and my paints don't mix, because I don't want that yellow blending into the red. I think I might need to get another yellow too. Aw. Okay, now if that stays put, I'm going to be a really happy camper. Blue. Grab some more French ultramarine. I don't want to really mix any colors with this either, because I'm going to be doing probably a number of paintings, and I just kind of want them to be the same. So if I mix colors to get like exactly what I'm looking for, then I have a really high chance of not mixing it correctly. Bestie, say what? I don't know. What did I say? Oh no. What am I in trouble for now? A little bit more. Okay, red, orange, yellow. I'm going to have to clean off that pan too if I'm going to use 2 greens. Isn't that what I said? Yes. Okay. So just scoop that away. I don't really like doing that because I generally go back and use those colors for something, or they get mixed in, but not today. You said what? Did I? Are you trying to confuse me on purpose? Always. So yeah, that's today's thing. I was thinking I had like 15 minutes between projects here to kind of move around and set up and think about what I wanted to do. And just adding some water. I was like, oh, should I color something? It would be nice to color like a nice big flower or something. But this idea has been in the back of my head for a long time now. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. All right, so I'm going to save that other half pan. What did I say? Spring green? Yes. Spring green into a hunter's green. Hooker's green, not hunter. Not that that name is any better, but that's what it's called, and I don't have a choice. So yeah, I only had a couple minutes to figure out what I wanted to do today. And I haven't painted in a while, not since the whole 10-day challenge. I've been working more on cards. Getting some of those done, and I have like a huge pile over here that kind of needs to be like processed, put in envelopes, stamps, blah blah blah. But I have no interest. I didn't want to give another boring stream like last time. Cleaning markers. I never actually did get back in to clean the rest of those markers either. So now it'll be a matter of remembering which ones I did and which ones I didn't do. I know I need to do the browns and the reds. I think I did the yellows, but I'm not sure. Who knows? All right. So we're going I think I'll start this way. Yeah. I'm going to start with a 4. And what I was thinking of doing is just kind of painting the tree that I wanted with water first, which is kind of hard to see, very hard to see. And then I can kind of adjust from there. But I'm hoping to put down enough water that I can get all of the colors in and have them kind of blend before it starts drying. And I'm literally scribbling, quite literally. I'm just going to drop in some water so it doesn't start drying. Hopefully. She said hopefully. And I can go back and kind of fix the shape, but I'm just going to start at the top where I see it's wet. I have no idea if this is going to work. We'll see. It kind of looks blood red now, though, doesn't it? I keep hitting the microphone, sorry, with my head. I moved the position so that I could see my paints better and the screen. And now I keep hitting my head. I wonder how many like iterations of this I'm gonna have to do before I'm happy. Probably a lot. I'm gonna try and go a little bit further away with the green so that it has a better chance of blending, because the paint is going to move and it will move into the yellow. I've run out of tree leaves, so okay, that's a lesson. Now all of this paint is going to move. But we're just figuring it out today, so all right. So that's a start. And there's far too much yellow. And I think the orange could be a little brighter. I haven't quite decided if I want to like put a lot of like details. I think I want this really kind of loose. I'm going to move the green up a bit. So, and then I can come back in with some of the darker and kind of move that up as well. There's so much road work being done today. I don't know. Can you hear any of that? It's so loud for me. And then I'm going to come back with some blue and get that to hopefully play nice in the pool with the others. They're like ripping up the concrete because they're gonna add a road so it meets another one. So they're ripping up the concrete of that road, and it is ridiculously loud. What are we thinking? Obviously, the shape needs work, right? I should extend it out here so it's kind of more following the shape. The like thought of shape doesn't have to, but I would like it to be somewhat recognizable. So actually don't mind it with Like I've come in with the other colors here on the left. But I really don't mind it lighter like that. Maybe I have to just extend this red a little bit so I can get the same effect up there. Now I've made it too even. But I want it broader, and I think the white space is different, is decent. There's like, there could be a little bit more white space like in here, up in here. But I'm fairly happy with that. And this would have like really kind of thick trunk, right? With long winding roots. Not quite sure how I'm going to get that. I haven't figured out how I want to do that, or how it, I don't really have like a way it should like look in my head. So I don't have enough water on my brush, but just different tree roots coming out, like it's like known for, right? Oh, the street work is so loud. Can you hear any of it? Or am I just complaining about things that you can't hear? So, and then the other option also is to add in some kind of branches, just not like everywhere, but if this was a tree, you would be able to see something, right? But I can't say that I like that. No branches, no branches and leaves. Or less, I don't know. That was too much for me. All right. What do we think? Good, bad, no? Um, all right, the shape is more or less what I was thinking of. I do still think I want some light in there. And the colors right now are okay. I do like the lighter and the darker greens. The new Gambosia is good orange. The yellow came through ish. Red is okay, probably not as strong as I had first had it, but not as weak as it is now. Purple's good. The purple and blue seems like it's going to be a funky mix, so I'm going to have to leave some water in between and kind of, I don't know, get that to play just a little bit better. But I want more variation in the colors. I don't want it to be red, orange, yellow, green, blue, like, you know what I mean? So I think I need to, I kind of need to stagger and put color down like in clumps and waves, I think. Right? Yeah. I don't want it so uniform. So that's one try down. On to number 2. And I think my brush size was perfect. I think it works. What I should do is have this picture like somewhere else. Yes, like that. So I can look at it. Yes. I'm just playing on my computer. I do have a picture of a tree. It's kind of like the tree of life. It's more kind of like the shape that's in my head. So I've got that there, and good. All right. Next. I'm going to try and be more aware of the shape too, but I'm going to hit the microphone because I'm not going to be able to see water coming down on paper. So I'm going to make it a little bit broader. Try and be aware of white space in there, which is kind of difficult when you're painting clear water on a blank piece of paper. I think I want it to come down here. I mean, the leaves are going to be like the focal point, right? So just gonna, I see some places kind of drying. So putting some water down so they stay wet. Okay, this one might be a little lopsided, but I'm literally painting with water, so, you know, it will be what it will be. All right. Now I'm gonna come in and drop, I'm gonna be a little bit more controlled-ish. And I'm gonna let the paint do a lot of the work, or most of the work. And I'm just gonna, I don't want to clump it so it's like red, orange, yellow. I want it to intermingle a little bit. But also still clearly be a rainbow. Need to put some yellow in here. And then start dropping in, but I'm not going to start dropping in some green. I really need to learn to finish sentences, apparently. I'm not going to put it just everywhere. That new Gambosia is moving a lot. All right. Blue, and I'm going to overlap where there's some green, and then have where there's not some green. And then the rest will be purple. So everywhere at the bottom that there is wet paint, or water rather, just gonna drop in purple. All right, and now I think I'm going to take some clean water and kind of massage some areas, because I think now I have far too much white space, and I want variations of the colors as well. So I'm just going to kind of close up a little bit of this and move some of the paint around and maybe add some more color in there. But just taking clean water and kind of broadening some of these areas, because now I think there's too much white space. Connect where I think maybe it needs some. Like this is a really large white space, as is this. So just gonna come through. I'm gonna drop in some yellow so we can get some vibrancy back in here. And every place I touch, like, you know, the water is going to, I'm taking some paint with me, and The water is going to really pretty much just do what it wants. I'm still really new to watercolor, but one of the things that I've definitely been learning is that you don't really have control. You know, you're like, well, you're the artist, you can make it do what you want. And then you try, and that's not really actually how it works. So it's been a lesson for me too, which is very nice because I love learning. But it's also frustrating, very frustrating when you're trying to get something like out of your head that you know, you think could be good. And I bleh. Okay. I want to be more sporadic with the color. Yeah. So for example, if I dropped in some green up here, and maybe got a little bit of blue up in here, a little bit of red maybe down in here. You kind of have to be careful. Because not all of these colors will play well. And I don't want to make some rounds. But maybe I could actually let's just play. That's what this is about. I could put some purple up here on the top. Just adding some water to kind of help that to move a bit. I don't think I want to do the purple in the top as strongly as that. And I think I'm going to break up this green with some blue. But I do want to put some purple kind of like up in here in areas. But I'm really going to have to be careful. Kind of more sporadic like that. And maybe I should bring the red down a bit can strengthen here. Maybe here. Kind of more sporadic like that. I don't know. I think, and this one, I still have a little bit more white space than I would like. But I was thinking also that I would like kind of the tree branches to come out. So that you could see more of them. Have them kind of separated by sections, you know? So thoughts, opinions, water. I don't know, that might be crazier than what I was looking for, but it's also more along the same lines. So, and this one has more white space, which, and this one has less, and I'd like in between. This one dried okay though. So, yep, less white space. Better towards the more sporadic color, but I do like how some of the color is kind of veining. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to touch the camera, so cross your fingers. All right, I need to see here. Where am I? If I can get this higher and then focus. So I like the veining and how the water is spreading in this area. And I think I'm going to try and duplicate that. And I didn't even disconnect or change cameras, which I did earlier. I found out also by accidentally doing that I have a very wide view camera. Apparently I have a couple of cameras, both in the front and the back, and one does like close up like this, and the other one does like the whole desk. And I promise never to push that button, because that would just be scary. Take 3. And I'm thinking maybe I will use my bigger brush and to put the water down, and then use a smaller one for the colors. So And maybe that will, I can't see a goddamn thing. Oh, well, this color actually, this brush has some paint in it. So apparently I did not clean it properly last time. So I can see a little bit better. But yeah. And I can tell already that I've not paid attention to the white space in the center here, but dropping in water. I could see some of the white space is bigger, so I'm just adding some more water. And then making sure everything stays wet. Push the button? Nope. I'm not pushing that button. You would be horrified. Nope, not that brush, this brush. Horrified. Right. So now I'm going to just drop in some color. Oh no. Let's see if I can get some of it kind of overlapping a bit. So it's not just all lines of color. Totally not pushing that button, forget it. All right. I almost went crazy on that light green, forgetting that I have another one. This did not move as much as I was hoping it would. So all right, now evaluation time. Definitely want a little bit more red up here, and I didn't get all of the places that there was water. And then I'll supplement with some more orange. And add some dark green. It's the same green, just less water. And I definitely want more blue. Need to add more water in some of my pans. Just to get some variation in there. And there's a big clump of orange right there. And I think I'm going to break it up a little bit with some red. Try and keep as much yellow as I can. This is going to get kind of overridden there. But I could add some in here. And add a little bit more green here to close up that white space a little bit more. And same with over here. I don't know. I don't really have a rhyme or reason. I'm just playing. What do you think? A bit more abstract, or I think I've kind of just been, I was closer with my first one in that the white space and the shape, not that they're really that much different. This still is a better representation of what I had in my head, even though it's very stripy, rainbow stripy, and I don't actually, I just don't want as clear cut, but maybe I don't want as mixed as this. So let's try again. I don't dislike this. It's just not what I have in my head. And I'm chasing this thing in my head. So we're going to try again. And I'm really, really wishing that I hadn't had the branches in that first one, in the white spaces. But take 4. Let's see. Let's see what we do. Oh, now it's clear again. Can't see anything. All right. So I'm going for the shape, and then coming down at the bottom, kind of defining that. And then squiggling inside. Go back and add enough water to make sure that it stays wet for all of the colors. And so that the paint gets a chance to move. And I can't see a damn thing. And we'll try from there. And I'm thinking maybe I can stay somewhat stripy, but maybe in a little bit more chaotic way. No, not chaotic. Diagonal, I guess. And just to maybe more like a wave, right? I'm kind of going to try and be gentler with the green. Just see if I can make it make a little bit more sense. And I can tell already that I'm going to have to come back in and kind of play, which is fine. And I'm going to stay also with a darker more pigmented version of the Hooker's green. And need more blue. I'm going to stay more pigmented with that as well. I'm just filling up whatever water space there is on the paper with the purple. And I can say that I am happier with that. I'm going to use some clean, whoa, okay. I didn't clean my brush well. So I'm just going to use some clean water. I don't like this white space here. I'm going to close that up a bit. A little bit here too. And over here. But doing that will also give me, well, a brown right here. So I'll take that away. I'll just drop some blue in there. Some purple at the end here. I'm looking to kind of get rid of any like uniformity, which I don't really have a lot of. But I do want the colors to play a little bit nicer together in certain areas. Hmm. What are we thinking? I'm probably going to regret touching this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm just going to re-wet and connect. Help the paint move around a bit. What are we thinking? All right. I need to look at this for a bit. I think this is the closest that I've come now. I think changing it to kind of the diagonal was the way to go with the colors. I'm not exactly thrilled with the shapes, some of the shapes, but that's me being nitpicky. And yeah, that's just me. So comparing to the first, which is the closest that I came to, I think the white space is very similar, and I like that. Even though the color is more just diagonal, I think I still like that way better than just straight across. I do like that it's messier a bit, you know, with the color kind of waving in and out. Some of the greens here and the red coming down. I think we're getting closer. I think we have to move to bigger paper though now, which is, I'm not the most thrilled about that. You know, these that I don't like or whatever I don't use, I can use the back and use them for testing or use them for whatever. But wasting a really big piece of paper. Just more of a cost factor. Art is expensive, you know. And Mama's got bills to pay. So, all right. I think I don't really have much of a choice. This is more along the lines of what was in my head. And these other two will become scrap paper, testing paper, whatever. This one I'm going to save just because it gives me more the feel of what, not save, but just keep aside for now and use it kind of as a reference. And this one will also be put aside as a reference. I'm really loving how this yellow is really popping through some of this green. Like the green has moved up into the yellow, but it's avoided some of these spaces. Or maybe I've gone back and added more yellow there. I'm not really sure. But I'm really liking those little pops through. I like the white space. Maybe I should do some practicing on the trunks so that if I actually do very well with the leaves on a big piece of paper, then I have a better idea on what I want to do for a trunk. So I can just actually take one of these and dry it real quick. And then use the back. So I have a little bit of a clue. Okay, so I kind of did this like spindly out thing, and I do like that. But then on this one, I did the branches coming out, and I do like that as well. So I just need to put those two together. Maybe I should not use this one. Nah, I can just. It's fine. It's fine, she said. It's fine. There's nothing's blowing up. It's okay. All right, I need some brown. And I can work with variations in tone, etc., shadows. Yeah, do all that stuff later. Now is more about shapes and kind of feelings. And I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to do it small so that I can have multiples. So let's just start with the basic trunk, right? And then I will have kind of these shapes coming up into the leaves where it fits, you know? And then I'm not going to do as thick this time because we're going small, but I definitely want all of the different kind of movement and angles of these things. Right? Maybe I don't have to practice this. That's too uniform. Maybe I do need to practice this. That's too uniform. So I do want it to make sense though too. So maybe some kind of like crisscrossy, and I'll use this, I'll go back to this as a reference because I did like how this came out, and I probably will have some disconnected like that and just coming off the sides. But let's just see if we can get a little bit closer. So start with the stump. And then we'll paint. Maybe I should just, I did like having the cross one, so could have one coming like that. But actually it should probably be, if I didn't have that there, it should probably be more this way, right? It's not really crisscrossing then, but maybe it doesn't have to. Maybe these kind of like, I kind of want to be loose about it too though, right? That looks like one of those like things outside a store. um I need to put you on hold for 1 second. I'm getting a call and I need to take it. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. That was the school, so I needed to make sure there was nothing wrong, and there was nothing wrong. So, yeah, but as you could see, I was kind of doodling as I was talking because I had to hold my watch up to my to my mouth so I could talk through my watch. And I I've kind of like this like snake kind of um yeah, I kind of like that. So, and I think I'm gonna not go with the crisscrosses at all, but so maybe just something a little bit more movement. So they're not just like all straight, you know? Okay. And then if I really wanted to, could branch off and have something more along the lines of that. I think that's my favorite so far. I'd have to come back and kind of figure out like thickness, etc. But maybe a root system like that, right? What do we think? I do like that one better. So I am glad that I did this. But I also do still like when you put in like just little ones that kind of aren't connected. Maybe not everywhere, but in a few places, right? Okay, so some variation of that. All right. I think I'm just gonna go in, and I don't know how many times we're gonna have to try this, but try we shall. This big piece of paper here, this makes it like so real for me now. This isn't practice. This isn't like, now I'm pressured to have this look right. But actually, if I do it landscape like that, then it's really just going to be kind of the same size as this, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna need to all right, we're just gonna try it and see what happens. Let's go. I am gonna go landscape. The trunk is not as much as the leaves, and I can get a nice broader set here and then still have room for the roots to move out. And I haven't figured out if I'm going to have like a background of any sort. I could, but I think I'm going to get the tree done first and just see what happens from there. Maybe the watercolor will decide for me, or maybe I'll have a, I don't know, some kind of inspiration. So I have dog hair on my brush. I'm going to add more paint and get my palette set first, and then see what happens. Okay. My water is so dirty. It's not getting my brushes cleaned here. So let me go change this out really quick. 1 second. Nice clean jar of water. Water, dog hair on my paper. All right. Take my sweater off. Okay. Back to colors. Colors, yes. Oh. Much better. Greens. Everyone have a good weekend. I didn't really do much. I didn't come into my office at all. Did a little bit of cleaning and played some games, played with my son. My son has a very limited eating palate, and on the days that I just don't want to cook, I make pizza roll-ups, which is it's more like individual calzones, and I just make enough, 2 batches, right? And then they sit there, and when people are hungry, they go and eat. My son has never had these. He has helped me make them in the past, but he's never been interested in eating them. And we made one especially for him, and he ate it. And then proceeded to eat 3 more of the regular ones. So that was a great breakthrough for him, for us. So that was Saturday. My husband cooked dinner on Sunday, and he ate that too, which is not common, not normal. So food-wise, for my son, it's been a really good and interesting and fun weekend. And that just adds more foods that we can give him. So that was a good time. Other than that, I didn't really do too much. I didn't go shopping. And did a little bit of house cleaning. Streamed on Monday with my friend, Gunnar. And then had a meeting Monday afternoon at my house. And before we streamed, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, cleaning and doing the last minute things so that, you know, you can at least walk in the house and not feel like you're gonna die. I'm really exaggerating, but you know, vacuumed, that kind of stuff. So all in all, it was nice and quiet and relaxing. That's it though. All right, I'm going in. I should put a poll. How successful do you think the first one is gonna be? Let's start with the shape, and I want a nice big broad tree. A lot of water, a lot more than before actually, because it's bigger, so it will dry quicker. And where are we here? It's not going to leave much room for, the trunk is going to be actually quite small, but let's see what happens. I'm trying to control the white space as I go along. I wouldn't say that I'm hugely successful with it because it's water on paper. But we can fix that after. All right, but I'm going to go like kind of in the same way as that last one. So I'm going to start with red and just start dropping it in more, still like in a row way, but diagonally. Where is that picture? How did I lose it already? But I did. Okay. I'm going to overlap a bit. I think I want some more yellow over here. And before this dries, I'm gonna deepen some of the red here. Bring it down so it has time to play with the orange. And now green, and we did a lot more kind of sporadic last time, I think. I really kind of wish I could find that. Oh, it's right here in front of me. So went a little higher. And this is just the light green, so and we'll take some of the dark green and start here and meet up with, kind of blend in with the light green. So those have time to play a bit. Blue. And I'll probably come in and kind of deepen this as I go along. But let's get all the colors down first and see where we go. Purple. Now this one is going to be kind of weird because a lot of the water is down here, so we'll have to massage this one too. I'm trying to move fairly quickly, so I still have time to fix what I want, you know. Like I have some puddles here, so I'm just gonna dry off my brush and pick up some of that water without actually meaning to like move the paint around. Just sop up the puddles without changing how the paint is moving together too much. Some puddles here too. I'm just removing water. So, puddle here. Oh, I think I need to move this maybe just a little higher. How's that? Do I still sound okay? All right, now I think I want to bring this, okay, I don't want this purple coming up into the yellow and green area so much. So I'm going to take that away. And then I'm just going to extend that area a little bit with some clean water, and so it kind of matches the shape a little bit better. And take away any extra water there. And go back in with some yellow. Green. And go with the darker green. And I'll add some of the lighter just in the middle for a good blend, and too much. And now I can come back in. I think I'll actually come in with blue. Just drop some at the bottom there. All right, now there's a lot of green in here for me. So this is where we start to play. Because I do want there to be a decent variation in the colors. I do want you to be able to see all of the colors. I want to do something up there, and I think I'm going to add in some a little bit of orange, new gamboge, and let that play. I think I'll add some yellow underneath it. And I'm adding too much water though. So take away some paint and add just a little bit more. And I touch the green, so now it's contaminated. But that's actually okay for here. There's like a shelf of color here. I'm not that big a fan, so just going to try and push it up in a way a little bit. Come back and deepen some of these purples a bit so you can tell they're there. Not everywhere though, because I do like some of the variations of like the lighter, where it's like lighter and kind of pinkish down here. And I definitely want to kind of at a crossroads here, because the blue over here kind of has like some lighter stripes going through it, and I like that, but I also want to deepen the blue. So to see if I can kind of add it in just in areas. Over here, I just dropped water in there, but I'm going to let that stay and do its thing. Over here, I think I'm going to add in some of the darker green. So it can blend pretty well. This lighter, or hopefully can blend pretty well. Good transition of color. Let that play. I'm gonna just adjust some of these white spaces a bit. And where the paint is dried, I'm just kind of trying to erase that line of where the paint has dried. but actually right here, I can just add some more blue. Still want to deepen some of these blue areas here. It's starting to dry, so it's not going to move as much as I would like. But I'm still just going to let it do its thing. I actually think I'm going to clean up this little orange piece that has some green in it here. And then I am going to let it dry a bit. And I'm going to stare at it moodily and figure out what it is I want to change, if anything. I do want it to be kind of loose, which I think it is. I just need to put my brush down. Stop touching. Give it time. Let it do its thing. Okay. So I want it loose, but I don't want it flat. Does that make sense? I want to have like lighter portions, like I'm not going to touch anything, I promise. I'm just pointing. So there's like a really tiny thing of this like light green in here, and I like that coming out through the darker green, right? I like that. That's kind of gives it depth and yeah, some feeling, you know? And some of these other areas, like where it's blended and is starting to dry up here, I like how that is kind of feathering together. Overall, I like how the paint is moving. But in some of these areas, like especially more in like the orange and the yellow areas, I would like there to be a little bit more contrast between like lighter and darker shades, right? So I'm not going to do anything now until it dries, but I'm going to grab some more yellow. And put that on my palette. And there's enough kind of orange, New Gamboge there. Here I think is what I'm kind of talking about, and I don't know how well you can see this or not, so if you can't, let me know. But do you see over here in this corner, there's like a lighter blue and then the darker blue, and there's kind of like some sharp like lines, but you can see the painting, like the paint underneath it. I want that everywhere else. I only got that because it was mostly dry and it didn't move as far as when it was more wet, right? So I think I need to dry this, but I also want it to kind of have the time to move if it is going to move anymore. I love that little spidery green there. That's delicious. I'm not so sure if I like it over here, like especially in this area. But I'm gonna wait and see. So until then, I'm going to just start very light. A lot of water, not a lot of color. And I'm going to kind of start planning out the whole base, right? I'm going to be a little bit careful and so there's the start of the trunk, right? And I don't want to touch the paint though. So there's probably going to be some white space between, but this is going to dry so light, so it doesn't really matter too much. So I just want to stay away and put some big branches in to kind of support the leaves in the tree without touching the other paint, hopefully. And I think I like that. So now I'm going to come down and plan. I'm going to turn this diagonal. So I really want to have enough room for roots though. So I think I'm going to come down just till about there. So it's going to be a very short, fat tree trunk, right? And then I just want to, okay, plan out a little bit where these things are going. So sort of like that, right? Now let me grab my little cheat sheet here and with the shapes, and I'm just going to come down and start making shapes, and then I can go further, define them better later, because this is it's going to dry pretty light. So I also don't really want them uniform, so I kind of have to be careful. I want them to make sense, but not make sense. Does that make sense? So these are just like the beginning, kind of wanted more. The only way to get more is to make that, yeah. I want more of a curve. So and then let's see, I think we're going to split off from here. And do our own thing that way. Still staying with like a pretty light value brown. It's getting a little darker and darker because I'm just adding more paint, but still light enough that I can change my mind. All right, this one I wanted to have a hump. and then come down here. Like that. And then this is also going to give me like space to kind of do those like remnants of roots, you know. So I actually think I'm going to connect this here. So that's one big root, right? So that's a big one. And then I'll come back in with color also. I need to thicken this one up. And what do I want to do here first? Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. This one is going to branch off like that. So I'm just gonna kind of, with this light value paint, I'm going to kind of figure out what it is that's happening and what I want to happen. Just kind of defining a little bit more as I go along. That one, I'm really not a fan of that one actually. So what do I want to do with it? I'm going to have a root kind of one of these like, you know, like floating ones there. But here, can't say I'm the happiest. So I think I need something else here. But maybe that can just end there. Here, this is going to thicken up. Extend out. And I think I still want some kind of variation. On both sides of like another, this is going to be darker, way darker. So another variation of that, like over on this side. So and I was trying to kind of make that look like two, but all right. And then This is just going to be one, right? And so I think I'm going to put in one of these like kind of floating roots. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to speak, really. Here, okay, here instead. A little floaty root. Not really sure what I want to do with this one. I'm going to come back to it. This one is nice. Every time I do this, I'm just adding like another like layer of brown onto the tree to kind of give it variation. So it'll be less like shadow stuff to do later. All right, here. I think I'll do another kind of floaty, disconnected one here. Widen that up a bit. Still don't know what I want there. Not sure that I like this just stopping, so I think I'm going to make it just follow down. And I do like this one. And just come off of that one there. Kind of fill in the blanks, but not, you know. In here, what do I want with you? I really don't know what I want there. I really don't know. I think I'll start and I'll fill this area here with like a root remnant, but I think I'll expand this then. And bring it up to a point. All right. I'm going to come back in on the bottom, these branches a bit, just kind of give a little bit more depth of color there. Not following exactly, just kind of in the area. And as we go through, just add different layers for more color, get darker, shadows, that kind of thing. And now, this is not completely dry. So, but it's dry enough that it's not going to move anymore, so I'm just going to hit it with the heat gun quickly. Okay. Now, I'm kind of gonna do like a second layer on top of this, following and hopefully not covering too many of the cool spots like this spider veining and stuff. On one of the last ones, not that one, this one, we had some like pops of color kind of like coming out, and I liked that, and I want that in some areas with different colors. So you can't really go backwards, but maybe, just maybe, we can get some of these yellows to be a little bit brighter and just kind of pop them in areas. Like that one is really nice, and true, we should have some more yellow here. So I'm just gonna come in and with pretty concentrated paint just make some shapes, right? Kind of tree shapes, leaf type shapes. And I'm going to go all over that kind of the spectrum here. And just add in, do a little bit of red. And I want more pigment than water because I don't actually want this to move. This is more kind of detailing that I want to stay, right? I wanted to add like a little bit of drama. Some variation. Can be like a shadow, type thing. I want it to make sense without making sense also. I'm staying away from like this area for the most part because I really like that blend and I don't want to cover it up, but that's just for now. Just have to see where all of this stuff takes us. All right. I do add a little bit there, and I'm going to kind of define here a little bit more in this area. I'm just nothing specific, just some shapes, just touching the brush. I'm going to come back in here, just a couple of taps. All right. I do think I want a bit of yellow over here. And it's not going to be pure yellow because you're putting it on top of green paint, but it will give a difference. So now come in with that lighter green. I'll just add some little spots of that as well. I'm just going to progressively do that with all of the colors. I'm going to generally stay in the area that that color is, but there's no guarantee that it I will always stay. Now this was that kind of like stripy area that I liked. I lost it on the blue, still have it on the green. So I'm going to just kind of try and highlight it a bit by having some contrast in that area. I'm too close to it right now to really see if there is an effect by what I'm doing. Too close in that I'm literally too close looking at it, you know, just this far away, but also I've been working on this for some hours, so I'm kind of blind to what I'm doing. I'm trying not to overwhelm the underpainting and not add too much. Only time will tell if I'm successful. And with this blue, I do have a decent amount of dark blue in there, but I still want some contrast. So I think I think I'm going to add just a little bit of some Payne's Gray. in there. And I mean a really little bit. Okay, a little bit more than that. Blue. So it's just, it has just a tad too wet, far too wet. Just a tad bit of tone difference. And I'm going to have to keep mixing and playing because it's still has more water in it than I would like. Here we go. Too much on the brush. Okay. And finally, I'm going to do the same thing with purple. And if I can't get a dark enough color with just what I have here, which I think I will be able to, I'll add some Payne's Gray into that as well, but I think we're okay. Just taking a little bit off my brush. I think that's about it. Ish. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. And it's pretty pigmented. It's very concentrated paint, so it's gonna take a bit. And I'll instead just come in, start adding some depth to this. And I want it to be loose, right? So can't really be too specific. I'm just going to add the contrast and be kind of messy with it. And with the roots, I'm just gonna, in certain, well, in all of them, but just going to add color variation, not everywhere, just some places. And I'm gonna try and be very, very messy. And I don't really like messy, so I don't know. Messy. It's messy for me anyway. I kind of do wish I left a little bit of light in the middle, a little bit more. But I think if I go backwards, I'm going to regret it. But I'm going to do it anyway. I just have a pretty dry brush and I'm just trying to make some varying lines in the paint. It's just a little too solid. That's kind of enough. I am going to do more layers. And I think I'm going to leave that as it is, which is very hard for me to say. And I think instead I'll just come in and play with some browns and get some kind of deeper browns. I might add some Payne's Gray in there to get a little bit more depth. And then just add it in, just in varying places. And I actually think I want to go even darker. So it's more brown. Oh, maybe I'll just take some brown directly from the pan. I'm going to go very thin. Not everywhere. Just kind of like in the thicker areas, I guess. Do I want to go even darker? My gut instinct is to say, of course I do. So, a little bit more Payne's Gray. But this one is going to be very sporadic and light. Just really on the deepest parts here. All right, what are we thinking? How are we thinking? Do we like it? Do we not like it? I can't say this is exactly what was in my head, but it's a fairly decent representation of it. Does it need a sky? Does it need grass? You love it. I really wish I could see it from your eyes. That would be so wonderful. But what do you think about sky? Sky, grass? And I don't mean like sky with clouds. I mean light washes of color to give the idea of sky without touching the tree. Light, very light green in the background. Think it would be good? I kind of think it would. So, problem is I have a lot of bright color here and I have no more room. So what I am going, I could do with a, I think you could do with a little color around it. I agree. I think I'm going to do that. But I think I wanted to use a different blue, a lighter one, but I don't really have room to like make it as light as I need it to be on this palette. So I think I'm gonna get another palette. This is one that I just have some other paints in, and I really want a very light blue. I want not this blue, I want, it's like twice removed bastard cousin from its cousin's uncle's side kind of blue. I want the idea of blue, not actual blue. So watery. And I'm going to take one of these pieces and just see. I think that'll do, because it will dry lighter than that too. Spawn 2 and 3 have been watching too. Oh, good. Are they having fun? Twice removed. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah. I never said this was a child safe. I don't know. So I'm just going to come in and add some ideas and some stripes of blue. And then I'm going to come in after with water and lighten it up. So like that. That's all I'm doing. And then I'm going to take some clean water and very quickly, because I don't want it to dry, just going to soften those edges and come around and spread it out a little bit further. So idea of blue, and I have to do this very quickly because it's already drying. I don't want anything to like overtake the tree, but I want hints of things. And this will dry so light now that it'll be a hint. But it's already started drying. So I think I'm just actually going to go over everything and let some water reawaken. And then I have a little bit more time, I think, to soften this out. Again, like I don't want anything, I want stripes, I don't want a sky, I don't want clouds. I just want really light blue in various places. A little bit of movement. And then bring it down. And I'm just doing this with clean water. And this one might not cooperate. And that's okay. My clean water is no longer clean because I wasn't cleaning off my brush each time because I was in such a rush. All right, really light. The idea of sky, not sky, the idea of sky. Here we go. And now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it with my like really light, in this example with this green. And it's going to be super watered down version. The bastard cousin version, if you will. I'm not touching anything else because I don't want to contaminate or reawaken any of the trunks. And that's it. I'm calling her done. Then I'll let it dry completely and then see. I don't really think I'm going to touch it after this. which is not my strongest point. I'm not really good at the leave it alone stuff. So yeah, I'm going to walk away from it and see what I think about it tomorrow morning. I think I'm pretty happy with it. Not 100% sure yet, though. So we'll see come tomorrow. It's really hard for me to look at this and not see like the little dots and know what they are for paint strokes. So I need time and distance away. I do really like how the roots came out. There's so much movement. Looks like really organic to me. And I love the different colors. I love the different like values of it. So yeah, I think I like this. I think we'll see for sure tomorrow, but I actually think I'm going to sign this one. And put it out as a print in my collection. I think I'm going to do that. But so there's our rainbow playing Tree of Life. I hope you had fun. I hope you get inspired. I hope you learn something. Although I'm not really trying to officially teach anything. And I also hope you have the good rest of the day. So that's going to be it for me. I will see you guys again on Thursday, I think, with Gina. And on Friday afternoon for another art stream. I have no idea what we're doing. If you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. You can put a comment in chat or send me a whisper. Write to me on Facebook, Instagram, any of those things. Yeah, but I think that's going to be it for me. So have a great day. Take care of each other, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.